water is a global commodity. It's a global resource actually. There is reason to worry when it comes to water in India. A report by the government-owned think tank Niti Aayog says that the country is staring at an acute water crisis, one that is being touted as the worst in the history of the nation. The report says that the 600 million people, that is almost half of India's population, face high to extreme water shortage, and around 200,000 people die every year due to inadequate access to potable water. That is not all. The report says that nearly 70% of the country's water is contaminated, putting India at the bottom 2 on the list of the World Quality Index. If the current trend continues, the crisis is only going to become more severe. India's water demand is projected to be twice the available supply in the coming 12 years, which means that there is going to be an acute shortage and the GDP is going to suffer a setback of 6%. And I'm joined by my colleague Aisha Sindhu from the newsroom. You know, Aisha, the issue of water shortage is not new, but the report is startling. It just goes on to say that in coming decades, half of the population will not have access to the required water because demand will become double of the supply.
Absolutely. And in addition, Karthike, it sounds a warning bell not just for the future, but also just gives us an idea of how things are pretty bad even as we speak. 70% of the population already has access to inadequate access to water. In addition, that water itself is contaminated. So this is a damning report by a government think tank. It's not, been published by any other agency, which makes it even more pertinent to address the concerns that have been raised. It also questions, the plan in place for managing India's water supplies going forward. I mean, a hit of 6% to the GDP is no small number, and it does indicate that if this situation has to be corrected, steps have to be taken starting now, and have to be taken on a war footing if the situation is to be improved in the coming years.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you for this update. So my colleague Aisha telling us that water indeed has become a problem. Water is an issue on which various state governments have been fighting with each other in India also. But it is something which should worry that the 70% of the groundwater has become contaminated.